Alright guys, so I said I was going to go into a deep dive of who I am as a person, and this video is literally something I've never ever talked about, only with my wife, and that's it. So you guys are getting the deep down of Brandon Wadas. And in today's video I wanted to talk about why I chose to continue to compete with this torn bicep. And that's as good as it gets right there. Can kind of flex it, but not really. So obviously when the injury happened, I was devastated. I thought my season was over before it even began, as I hurt myself 5 days before my first contest of the year. And obviously being a hyper competitive person, that did not sit well with me at all. At first, I would say like within the first 24 hours, and I've said this publicly, that I did feel sorry for myself, right? I didn't necessarily go off the diet or anything, but I felt sorry because I was hurt, I was disappointed. But then after that, I realized like, hey, you know, I can try to make the best of this situation. And I went on, obviously, to compete in 3 shows as of the filming of this. This is before Mr. America, obviously. But why I chose to continue while being hurt. And I'm sure everyone has their opinions. Some people said, hey, you know, maybe you're not going to look your absolute best at Mr. America. Why would you go? And as a close friend of mine, world champion bodybuilder, might own a supplement company that I represent. He said that publicly. And I had some friends say kind of the same thing, like, hey, you know, just chalk this year up kind of as a loss almost, just get surgery and get on to healing. And I can understand where they're coming from, but only one person can make that decision, that's me. So I guess my wife pretty much summed it up the best, and I'll get on to what I was, kind of my mental thought process was throughout this whole thing. But she asked me, if you were to quit right now, meaning, you know, that was the week of that I got hurt, that I got back, how would you feel? And I just responded with one word, just devastated. And she said, well, there's your answer. You know, you have to continue. And I was like, yeah, I guess I have to. Like, and you know, no one's twisting my arm. She didn't twist my arm. She just said you have to make what's the decision is best for you. But for me, if I were to just come to a sudden halt before even getting going, that would destroy me mentally. And I feel like I am a very, very strong, mentally tough person, but I think that would have broke me to not be able to do something that I've been preparing this whole time for. And then now looking back, of course, I've had some decent success, right? I mean, I placed second in 2 shows and I won another show. So if I would have just completely stopped, I would have given myself that opportunity. And this is the subject that I want to talk about. That's a little bit personal for me, is you know, why I chose to continue. So we have to flash back many years. I've never talked about this before, but you know, I actually was a very good baseball player. I played baseball from the age of 4 to 18, and then after baseball I got into bodybuilding. But what I've never said publicly before was that senior year of high school I ended up quitting the baseball team. And, you know, it's kind of a long story, but to sum it up briefly was that I was brought up at an early age in the high school system. I was actually on varsity sophomore and junior year with some decent playing time junior year. But then senior year, they started to put other guys over the top of me that I thought were less skilled for whatever reason. And I wasn't too happy about that, and I voiced my opinions. And I still wasn't getting the playing time I thought I deserved. So I just said, screw it, with a month left. And I quit the baseball team. Actually ended up going on to run track, but that's neither here nor there. And not finishing that season has bothered me for a decade. And I actually still have nightmares about it. And I'm not like ashamed to say that. But at that time, and still to this day, obviously, it bothers me. It bothers me that I didn't complete my career, because up until that time, as much as I'm hyper-focused on bodybuilding now, I was hyper-focused on baseball. So I did baseball year-round, even though I'm in Indiana. and the weather's not always necessarily great, I was always training for baseball. From, like I said, the age 4 through 18, we'd have winter practice indoors at high school, and I was getting up at 3:30 in the morning to get there for 5, and it was just this whole thing. So it was a really hard decision for me, and not that I don't regret my decision to quit the baseball team. I think that was the right call at the time, and I think it still is. But it's just leaving myself with the unfinished business of finishing out my career as an athlete in that segment of my life. And I'm not saying that this is the end of my bodybuilding career, right? But if I were to have dropped out of this contest prep, especially going into Mr. America, and then if I would have actually gone to Mr. America, which the producer of the show asked me, well, if you get surgery, would you still come? And that would have destroyed me. I'll be honest, it would have destroyed me to go and to watch the guys compete for a title that I could have been competing with as well. So kind of going back to the start of my bodybuilding career, and I've said this before as well, my dad told me about the local show, actually right here in Maryville at the time, and he said, hey, you should go and watch. And my response to him, and this is 19-year-old me, was, if I'm going to go and compete. And I crash dieted for 3 weeks, and I competed at the show, and I got my butt kicked. But hey, that was my mentality going into it. If I'm going to compete. So I'm taking that same mentality to Mr. America this year. If I was going to go either way to the show, either in a sling or like I am currently, still injured but competing, I'm going to go to compete. And maybe I won't be my absolute all-time best. I understand that. Do I think I'm at my capable self that I could have been in 2021? No. But I'm at my best self given the current circumstances. And to be honest, I didn't want to have nightmares for 10 more years. I want to be able to say I did everything within my current power to take myself from completely tearing my bicep to competing at Mr. America. And I'm not saying I'm going to win Mr. America. I'm really not. I'm just saying what I want to do is finish the task at hand. And I will be proud of that. Of course, I want to go and try to compete to win. Yes. But for me, it's more important this time around to actually finish what I started. Because like I said, if I were to have gone to Mr. America, which I probably would have, they would have wanted me to fly out and just to be on camera in a sling or whatever, for them to interview me for 5 seconds to be on the TV show, and that make it part of the story. But it was way more important for me to be able to go and to compete for my mental sanity, because as someone who is extremely hard on themselves, I'm always going to be the person that's hardest on me is myself. I just knew that if I were to quit, I would deeply regret it. So that's why I've decided to continue with a torn bicep, and I'm extremely proud of that decision. And once again, I do want to say this, and I've said it in some posts, I'm not trying to be a hero in anything I'm doing. I personally would not recommend waiting this long to get your bicep fixed. And I'll probably say this in many videos coming up as well, obviously post-surgery. I would get it fixed right away if you're a normal person. But for me, for my mental sanity, for what I'm trying to accomplish this year as well, with bodybuilding wise, that's why I chose to delay surgery longer than the recommended window, is because I think that I can do it not only physically but mentally. And if there are some short-term side effects like me losing a little bit of range of motion or the bicep retracting a little bit, I can deal with it. And the surgeon did tell me that it might just make his job a little bit harder if I were to delay surgery some, but I have full faith in him. I chose him for a specific reason. So he told me that we should be good to go when I am good and ready for surgery. But that's it, guys. It was kind of a tough personal video for me to make, since I've never talked about quitting baseball before. Like I said, still have nightmares about it, and I just wasn't about to have that cycle start all over again in regards to my bodybuilding career, which is obviously my current love. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Maybe you're related to a little bit, but now you know why I chose to continue to compete with this dang torn bicep. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you soon.